mind is step one. And I'll say, you know what? I'm not going to start it where I originally wanted to. And I'll grow the painting from somewhere else. I don't know how else to put it. It's really kind of hard to explain. But I think as an artist, I don't always start off at the same jumping point, the jump off point. Like, one of the things you start with, you do a wash, the background, boom, 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 here you go. And then you do a pencil sketch if you're going to do a pencil sketch on top of it. I don't always do things in the same way anymore. I find that when I pick up a paintbrush or a pencil, whatever it is, I never start the same way twice. It's always different. And it takes me to places where I didn't expect to go. Like, I have a vision in my head of what I want to do. And by the time I'm done, it's completely different. And I think in the beginning when I was constructing stuff for the website, I would get frustrated because I would do something and I would look at it and say, that's not what was in my mind's eye. And I would crumple it up and it would be gone. And I did that. I did that a lot. I think now where I've grown is that I like the fact that it's not what's in my mind's eye. I really do.
Surprise yourself.
Yeah, I love it. And I've learned that just by painting with people, just seeing what, and adapting what I do to different personalities and different age groups. It's really, really, it's wonderful.
Well, I'm sure when you get to the party, you have a little bit of an idea of your client, but once you get into that space, it's a whole different energy, and then the people in the room, how to work off their energy, right?
Yeah. I don't know anything walking into a room.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we, I'll just as an example, I'll have a booking. It's a 8-year-old birthday party. I know that the birthday person is going to be 8 years old or just recently turned 8. That's all I know. That's it. And I walk in, and once the guests sit down, and I'll just chat with them for a few minutes and laugh and just have some fun before even picking up a paintbrush. That's how I learn exactly what I'm going to do.
Yes. Body
language, look on the face, smiles, those things, where the glow comes from, while speaking and interacting, and then I start to paint. And that's where I don't even think about it anymore. Just, it's automatic. It's autopilot, And one of the other things that I did was, instead of, we said there's the finished artwork, and then, then there's an easel with a blank canvas right next to it, and you paint right next to it. And you go ahead and just, okay, I take the canvas off of my easel and put it up against my chest and walk around with the canvas at my chest and paint in front of people. I walk around. I don't stand at the easel. I don't even look at the finished painting. I just go and do it and get right up on top of people and have that dialogue. And what's nice is, even if I'm doing an event of 100-something people, I have a headset mic, and I'll be talking one-on-one to somebody, and they're hearing my voice from across the room and don't realize I'm right behind them. And until they feel that, I'll stop talking for a second and I'll turn the mic off and go, behind you. And they'll look up and, you always get that chuckle. Those surprises and what have you. But I don't paint at my easel. I walk around. I'll just take my brush. If I run out of paint on my brush, I'll go onto somebody's plate. I'm really terrible like that. And just say, excuse me, I'm going to take some of your paint. Thank you very much. And just keep walking. Which always gets a chuckle out of people as well. So just being like that, and it's that's how I do it. That's it.
Well, you do work with your wife, Vanessa. How is it working together in this business for 5 years so far?
Wow. It's interesting. When we were doing the karaoke shows, we would be standing right next to each other for, 98% of the time we were doing shows. one of the things that I love about my wife is that we could literally spend 24/7 together, and we just laugh and always have a good time. It doesn't matter. One of the things that I don't like about the dynamic with the painting parties is that in the beginning, she would come with me and she'd assist, and it would be pretty much the same. She would not be able to walk around with me as I was walking around, because that was a little awkward, and she would help and what have you. But as the business side of it became very cluttered, the phone wouldn't stop. Calls, texts. So at some point, Vanessa had to stop coming to events because it was a point of being rude, where the phone it didn't stop.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of walking, excuse me, I got to leave the room. It got that clumsy and awkward. So that's the one thing about doing this that I do miss is working that closely together. So at this point, it's like we separate in terms of I wind up doing the events myself, where she would take care of the business end of it. And it's very needy, so it's tough. I'll say when I do events larger than 45 people, I'll have an assistant come help me set up and maybe scope the room a little bit, but I do the event myself, so
100 or 100 people.
Yeah,
that's something to be able to handle that.
Yay.
All right, well, we're getting to the present. So obviously this pandemic has put your business on hold because it is a business where you have to be around people. You have adapted by teaching virtual classes now. How's that going?
Yeah, we're. It's funny again. My wife came up with the idea of doing virtual events over a year ago at this point, and it's so funny. We were so busy, and we've been. I'll use the word in a nice way, relentless, to a point where I didn't have the time to really stop and really investigate how to do it because there wasn't that much time. So this is something that we've really, really had on the table for over a year, doing virtual events. And one of the reasons why is that a lot of people from out of state would, say to us, "We want to do a party. We want to paint with you," and we've really, really been just putting this on the back burner for quite a while. So I think at this point, this was the extra push we needed to start doing it. At this point, we are running them off of our from our Facebook page. We have a group for virtual paint classes. So far, we've just done a couple for adults, but we're going to start doing some stuff for the youngsters, for the kids, and take it from there. But I think after this whole pandemic social distancing thing is over, we're going to continue to offer the virtual classes where you can have a virtual event and have people, because we do run into issues, and I've had this happen just recently too, where a family tried to book an event through the holiday season in December, and the family came in from all over the country, and they wanted to paint together. We weren't available. We were already booked solid for the time, and we couldn't accommodate them, so they wound up not doing anything. Mm-hmm. But if we had the capabilities of doing a virtual event, they would have been able to maybe not be in the same physical space, but they could be in the same vibe and paint and see each other and enjoy the whole process together. So this is something that we are going to maintain and offer as a service. I don't think we're going to stop doing that. to supplement, and add in as something else, more than anything else, to accommodate some of the clients where we do run into that issue where sometimes scheduling is tough. It doesn't always work out, so it makes sense.
And you don't travel really, really far. You're kind of trying to keep it in the Long Island, New York area.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
For right now, yeah, we've been maintaining just staying on Long Island. However, we have done events off island a couple of times. For instance, mid-January we did an event for Marine Corps League in Pennsylvania. It was a weekend convention where people, Marine Corps personnel, came from all over Pennsylvania, and it was just outside of Hershey, and they had a whole got together. They stayed at a hotel for the weekend, and over the weekend we did this painting event that was like the cap of it, and it was really nice. It was wonderful. So on occasion we do events like that. We did, I think, early on we did a fundraiser. It was a animal rescue we did up in Massachusetts. We took a weekend and did that. For different circumstances, we will travel the distance.
All right, brings me to some of my last questions. Do you think we all have an artist inside of us?
Oof. Yes, indeed. Yes. Wholeheartedly, I do. I hear this a lot. And it's always from people that are older than I am. They will walk up to me and say, "I can't draw a stick figure." And I say to them, "That's good, because we're not doing stick figures today." And I always get a chuckle, of course. I think that, and that same person will come up to me afterwards and say, "Thank you so much. I never would have thought I would have been able to do this. This was so enjoyable. I can't wait to do it again." So just having that, I had people in their late 80s paint and say that. "I've never picked up a paintbrush in my life." I'm like, "You're crazy." So, yeah, I love that. And on the other side of the spectrum, with the young ones, we usually start our kids' parties at 5. I'm not an early childhood education specialist. It's not something I know anything about. However, once in a while, we will do a party. Somebody will just say, "Please, please, 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 please," and we'll do like a 4th birthday. They're all 3. They're 3. They don't know how to socialize or really speak. They'll sit there nonverbal. But you know what? They don't know what they're doing is tough, because nobody told them yet. This is hard. You can't do this. And they don't have that in their mind, so they'll follow along. And, I'll give them larger brushes than normal, and they'll follow along. And I just tell the parents, let them do what they're doing. But I'm going to say that as soon as we're done with the last step, to take their canvas away from them. Okay? As long as you do that, it's fine. Because once we're done with the last step, the natural instinct is to Etch-a-Sketch, shake it and erase it. And that's what they do. They just take their brush and they just take all their colors and mush it together, and you got a black canvas. And I figured that out really fast, that they'll do that. There's a certain, they'll paint for about 25 minutes, half an hour, and they'll sit very quietly and follow. And they'll do wonderful artwork. Wonderful. And as long as you grab that canvas before the eraser comes out, you've got a nice something to look back on from when they were still in their toddler years. It's wonderful. Oh. It's beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Any advice for painters or paint party entrepreneurs?
Wow. Just do it, as they say. Wow, the best piece of advice is don't second guess yourself, and just enjoy what you're doing. If you enjoy it, the people that are around you will enjoy it as well. I think that goes with any